Okay, welcome to another lesson on prefixes. So we have some different prefixes this time. We have anti and contra, which both mean against. So if you are anti-establishment, you are against the establishment. The Antichrist is obviously against Christ and is a character perhaps from the Bible. If something is going in an anti-clockwise direction, it's going in the opposite direction to clockwise, to the way a clock works. So we have clockwise and anti-clockwise. Clockwise like this, and anti-clockwise like this. Okay, contra also means against. So if you contradict yourself, it means that you say something which is logically impossible. It's completely illogical. You have made a contradiction when you say one thing and then the opposite. You contradict yourself. Yeah, it literally means opposing yourself in speech. Okay, controversial. If you say something controversial, it means you say something which is against the main opinion, the majority opinion. Okay, if something is a controversial question, it will often encourage a lot of argument and debate. Okay, but if you say something controversial, it just means outside the mainstream, basically not what the majority think. Okay, contraband is obviously drugs or anything else which is not allowed to be taken over the border. So it's against the law, contraband. Okay, a or an mean without. Okay, so if something is asymmetric, it has no symmetry. It is without symmetry, it's asymmetric. If something reproduces asexually, it means that there is no male and female. There is no sex. So, for example, very small microbes are asexual. They reproduce asexually. There's no male and female. They just replicate themselves. Okay, if something is anhydrous, this is a chemistry word, really. It means it has no water in there. There's no water. Hyd is, well, I suppose it's connected to hydrogen, but it's also connected to water. Anhydrous means no water. So if you have some anhydrous copper sulfate, it means copper sulfate without the water. Yes, it's turned white. It's gone from blue to white. It's anhydrous. Anonymous means that you have no name. So I'm sure you are all familiar with this word, which just simply means that somebody, if you say something anonymously, you don't admit that you said it. You say something without your name. Okay? Or if somebody, I don't know, perhaps an anonymous caller warns the police about some kind of crime, he doesn't give his name. He's anonymous. Okay? Inter means between. So international, between different nationalities, between different countries. Interact, the action between two people or between two parties. And intermolecular, we talk about intermolecular bonds in chemistry again, and it means bonds between different molecules. It's different from intramolecular, which would be bonds between, well, within the same molecule. So this really does mean within. Intra and inter is between. Okay? So we can also talk about intracellular. This means something within the cell. It's a biology word, this. It's biological. Okay, mal always means bad, and it's something negative in some way. So if something is malformed, it's badly formed. You can talk about a malformed animal or a malformed baby if there's some kind of problem with the physical shape of the body. Malpractice, this is used for doctors if they have caused some kind of injury to the patient by doing something wrong. So if a surgeon makes a mistake in an operation, maybe he will be taken to court for malpractice. And malevolent is a word which means evil, nasty. You use this for somebody who is a nasty person. They are malevolent, or their intentions are malevolent. They have bad intentions. Okay, if we go on to multi or poly, they both mean many. So you have multinational companies. It means companies which are based in lots of different countries. If something is multicoloured, many colours. If somebody is a polyglot, they speak lots of languages. And if somebody if somebody indulges in polygamy, that means they have many, many wives, or perhaps many husbands. It just means many, many spouses. Okay, para means beyond. And so we often talk about paranormal things, which means ghosts, spirits, maybe telepathy, things like this, which aren't really scientifically proven, and so we call them beyond normal, paranormal things. You know, some people believe that they're true. Some people would say that they're just they're not true. They're false. So very often ghosts, that kind of thing, can be considered paranormal. Paramilitary, we often use this word for when there's a conflict and the military, perhaps they don't belong to a state, a recognized state. Very often then we would call them paramilitaries, and it kind of means like a military, similar to a military, but they're not really a military because they don't have a recognized state, so they would be paramilitaries. Okay, pseudo means false. If you have a pseudonym, nym, again we had nym in anonymous, it means name, so a pseudonym is a false name. And if you consider, I don't know, psychology to be pseudoscience, it means you think it is a false science, not a true science, that in some way it doesn't follow the scientific method. Okay, if you have any questions about these prefixes, please ask under the video, and thanks for watching.